the relationship between margin and leverage. All right, learners, today we'll look at the connection between margin and leverage in Forex trading. So, what is the link between margin and leverage? Consider this: margin provides leverage. Simply put, leverage is having more trading power when using a margin account. It allows you to trade with a higher position size than the real funds in your trading account. Consider leverage as a ratio, a comparison between the money you have and the money you can trade. We commonly express leverage in the X1 manner. For example, if it is 100.1, you can trade as if you had $100. Let me break it down with an example. Imagine you wish to trade one standard lot of USD JPY without utilizing the margin. That would require $100,000 in your account. However, with a margin requirement of just 1%, you just need to deposit $1,000 in your account to execute that trade. This suggests that the leverage available for this trade would be 100.1. Now, let's look at some examples of leverage ratios depending on various margin requirements. This is how you calculate the leverage. Here's a way to figure out leverage. For example, if the margin requirement is 2%. So, when we talk about leverage, we see it expressed as a ratio. For example, a leverage of 50 is often represented as 50.1. Now let's look at how to calculate the margin requirement using the leverage ratio. This is how to calculate the margin requirement, for example, if the leverage ratio is 1/100. Now let's talk about the margin requirement, which normally ranges between 0.01 and 1%. It's noteworthy to note the opposite connection between leverage and margin. Both leverage and margin are essentially the same concept, but viewed from opposite angles. When a trader decides to open a position, they must deposit a fraction of the whole value as security. This proportion, sometimes stated as a percentage, is known as the margin requirement. For example, it might be 2%. Now, this percentage, say 2%, defines the required margin, the real amount of money needed to open the trade. For example, if the position pays $100,000, 2% of that amount equals $2,000. So $2,000 becomes the required margin for that specific trade. Now here's where things get interesting. You can trade a $100,000 position with a required margin of only $2,000. This produces a leverage ratio of 150. In basic terms, leverage allows you to control a larger position with a smaller sum of money. It increases both possible earnings and losses. Thus, knowing leverage and margin is essential for any trader. Forex margin versus securities margin. Okay, everyone, let's look at the differences between Forex margin and securities margin because understanding them is important. In the world of securities, margin refers to the money borrowed, often up to 50% of the purchase price, to buy stocks, bonds, or ETFs. This is commonly referred to as buying on margin. So when you trade stocks on margin, you are borrowing funds from your stockbroker to buy equities, effectively taking out a loan from the brokerage firm. However, in the Forex market, the margin works very differently. Margin is the amount of money you must deposit and maintain with your trading platform when you create a position. It's worth noting that this is not a down payment, and you don't own the actual currency pair. Instead, consider margin as a form of honest deposit or security. Its purpose is to ensure that both parties, buyer and seller, can meet their responsibilities. Forex margin, a similar margin in stock trading, does not involve borrowing. Forex trading does not involve the actual purchasing or selling of currency. Rather, an agreement or contract to buy or sell is traded. This is why borrowing is unnecessary in Forex trading. While the term margin is used in both securities and Forex trading, there is a significant variation in how it is used. Understanding this distinction is essential before investing in Forex trading. Well, that's a wrap for today's video, but guess what? Our journey doesn't stop here. Make sure you're subscribed to catch all the latest trading tips and strategies. We've got some awesome free courses and killer knowledge-based videos waiting for you. And hey, it won't cost you a dime. But trust me, it's gonna make a world of difference in your trading game. And hey, do us a solid, smash that like button. And if you think this could help out your trading buddies, hit that share button too. Your support means the world to us. Tell us what topic next you want us to cover, and we can't wait to catch you in our next video. Until then, happy trading.